All right, today we're doing a quick, goofy, wacky little video where I decide which hypercharges should be buffed, nerfed, or reworked. Now, I would like to tell you the criteria of this because it's a little different than you might expect. I'm doing this based on the ability itself, because the hope is that one day they will actually remove the stat boosts from hypercharges and maybe change the mechanic a little bit to make it just more fair to the game, because obviously we all know that the balance of the game is cooked with hypercharges how they currently are just because of how strong they make you. So hopefully they delete the stat boosts and then they just make hypercharges like an ultimate ability. That being said, the ability of the hypercharge itself will be the main or the only factor really. So with that in mind, I'm going to see if like the ability itself should get buffed or nerfed. Shelly's hypercharge, first buff. Obviously this one, it's pretty bad on its own. It just makes her super 33% larger. Doesn't really do anything else. So I think that they could keep it larger, but then they could also give it like a different kind of effect, whatever it might be. Literally anything else. Okay, Nita's hypercharge. This one's pretty good. I guess the question is, would they even have like a charge rate for this, or like how would it work? Because I mean, I still think my idea of overcharging your super would be kind of cool for an ultimate ability. Maybe one day we'll actually see that. But the ability itself, Nita's hyper bear is pretty good. I would probably say slight nerf. Colt's hypercharge, it's a lot like Shelly's. It's really boring. It helps, but it doesn't help as much as it could. So I could see it giving some kind of like slow effect to help you keep him in there, or really anything else. So yeah, easy buff. Now Bull's hypercharge, reducing damage while you're charging by 80%. All of these like early ones just don't seem to really be that good, except for Nita's. That one's really good. So yeah, this is also a buff. It could definitely do something else. And I'm saying this just based on the fact that a lot of the other hypers in the game, especially the newer ones, they do too much. This does too little. Okay, Brock's hyper, honestly, we should rework it. Maybe turn it into some kind of like, I don't know, a tornado of rockets or something, because like the current way it works is just either like you get a slight buff to your super or you actually nerf it. So this one should be a rework easily. It's bad. It just shouldn't exist. Okay, El Primo's just brings his enemies to him, which is good, but it also could be better because in the Brawl Talk, I've brought this up a billion times, in the Brawl Talk, it was supposed to make it larger, which would have been great. I don't know why it doesn't do that, so easy buff for El Primo. Barley's, I don't know. I feel like his is maybe a little bit too big. I know that he's not like the greatest brawler in the game, but when he throws that hyper down, it's like the entire map. Kind of like Ember's. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of the ones that just cover the entire map, so I'm gonna say a slight nerf just to the size of it. Now this only affects the amount overhealed, so you have to super your teammates when they're already at full HP, which I think is a little lame. So maybe there could be some kind of like baseline overshield. Even if they're not full health, they can get like 1,000 overshield, and then whatever else goes above their max HP, you can add that to the overshield. Just like a guaranteed overshield for this would be a lot more fun in my opinion, and better obviously. I've heard that Rosa's hyper isn't that good. It just slows people down that are near her, and she's faster than them anyways, so she's gonna keep up. Maybe they could just make it larger so then it's easier to do that. I'm not sure, but yeah, I've heard this one's bad, so I'm gonna say buff. Okay, Jesse's is kind of like Nita's, and I'm not even sure if I would want to nerf it, because Nita's bear can at least chase you down, but Jesse's turret dies so easily. I know it's insane in Heist, but I think more than anything, what I would want to see is like a special effect added to it, not just a stat boost. So Nita's bear and Jesse's turret, maybe they could both be in rework, but I'll just put Jesse's in there because like it could definitely do something else instead of just numbers. Okay, Dynamite's ability that lets you one-shot people. I'm not really sure what else you could do with it, so I'm just gonna say probably nerf it. The thing about this one though is the 25% damage boost you get, which wouldn't exist anymore, is what makes it broken. So if anything, I would probably say just buff the extra bombs that go out. I know it's crazy to say, but just imagine it not one-shotting you, because it wouldn't with this. So maybe just make it more consistently throw people into the bombs that go outside. Okay, so Tix is weird because it gets a speed boost and then it drops 6 mines on the ground. If anything, I would probably slightly nerf maybe the damage of the mines. Maybe that's because of the 25%, but I would nerf something about like either the speed or the mines that come out, because they one-shot you. Like they do so much damage. It's kind of unfair how much damage they do. Okay, this is the worst one in the entire game. 8-Bit's hypercharge literally does nothing. It turns it into a much worse Jesse turret, which you never want to place it that way. So this is an easy rework. It should do something completely different. Okay, Rico's, honestly, I know his is good, but I want to see it even better. Like I know it's annoying. I hate Rico too. I hate fighting him, but seeing the balls go everywhere, it's fun. So yeah, I'll just do that. And with the damage nerf and everything, it might be more balanced. I'm still not a big fan of Daryl's. I think it could do something else. It just shoots little things around his supers. It just seems like a little weird way to get more damage, and I think there could be like a more interesting way to get damage if that's what they want to go for. So I'm gonna say rework, because not only could there be like a more fun way to get damage with a super, but also maybe this super could add more utility instead. All right, Penny's double cannonball. I'm actually gonna say buff, but it's in a weird way. I think maybe it should just shoot like twice as fast. Maybe that would be super broken, but shooting 2 at once, I don't know, it just seems weird to me when it could just shoot like faster, like rapid fire cannon. Okay, Carl's hypercharged. Everybody knows that this isn't very useful, so easy rework there. Jackie's hyper just slowing people. Again, I think this is another rework because like, how does she really benefit from this when she already pulls them in? I understand that it's harder for them to run away, but most of the time people are gonna jump away if they're gonna get away from her. So this is gonna be a rework. It should do something different. I still don't know how to feel about Gus's. I feel like it doesn't really do much. I feel like the damage it does is so minimal that you barely ever get value out of it. Maybe the healing is good. So if anything, I'm just gonna say buff because I do think it's interesting. Okay, Bo's 5 mines. I think it's fine. I don't really know what else they're gonna do with it. So if anything, maybe just like buff the speed at which they explode. I really don't know. I feel like this is one that I would just say keep the same or very slightly buff it or maybe even very slightly nerf it. Okay, so Ems just pushes people away and then sprays them. It's like a really weird one, kind of unexpected to see. Honestly, I think maybe buff it. I barely ever see this thing get value, and that could just be because I don't play this game anymore. Stu, infinite supers. What can you really change about this? I'm gonna say maybe just nerf the amount of healing he can get with Gaso heal somehow. I don't know how they could possibly do that. That's the only thing I can think of though. Piper's hypercharge. I do think this is kind of a perfect hypercharge. It changes her playstyle in an interesting way, turns her into like an assassin. I'm not even sure what they could really do about this. And maybe if anything, like I don't think they should nerf it. I don't think they should rework it either. So maybe if anything, just give like maybe a wee bit of damage when you land on somebody. I don't know what else you could do. I've heard recently that this is one of the worst hypers in the game, especially considering it opens the entire map and most of the time you might not even hit more than one person with it. So definitely buff this one in some way. I don't know how you could possibly make it not nerfy though sometimes. BB splitting bubbles. This is a really fun one. Maybe though the bubbles could move faster after they split. B's hyper is interesting because it just makes them, basically makes it go farther. It's like a larger projectile. So I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of situations where your super might just hit them anyways, especially if you're aiming properly. I can't tell if it goes through walls or not, but if it doesn't, then I would allow it to do that. Okay, so Nani's, this just makes the head, the peep, larger during travel. Nothing else. It's one of the most useless hypercharges in the entire game. Sometimes it even nerfs you. I can assume some situations would help you, but most of the time it does nothing. So easy rework. It should do anything else. Edgar's hyper is literally just stat buffs. After using super, gain charging speed and reload speed for a few seconds. That is it. I definitely think this could do something different, especially if they don't have stat buffs in the game anymore, because just getting more supers and reloading faster, that's not going to help you very much. So with my change of hypercharge idea, I would say buff it. This list is going to look really weird for people who are not paying attention. Okay, Griff's is it's interesting. It does a lot of damage, and I'm not particularly a fan of the hypercharges that are designed to either team wipe or take down an entire safe in one shot. However, Griff's is it's one of the weaker ones in that aspect of like taking out the entire safe. So I'm not sure. Maybe just slightly nerf the damage of the ones that like multiply because you get 2 that come back. Maybe just like nerf one of the waves that come back. That's all I can think of. Okay, Grom's is weird, but I don't see it get used ever. In fact, I don't see Grom get used ever. So if we want to buff this hyper, I would probably say that you should just make the other one come out maybe a little bit faster so then it has a higher chance to hit people. Okay, Bonnie's definitely needs a nerf. I don't understand why this one stuns when you go up in the air. I thought it would stun when you land, but it does both. You stun on the way up and the way down. So it's like a perma stun that is so broken. Easy nerf for Bonnie's. Just don't make it stun on the way up. Okay, so Gale's just shoots 2 supers and it's wider, which is fine, I guess, but I think it could be something more interesting. Like maybe, I don't know, just like give him like a new tornado. Not a new tornado, just something special. I feel like this one's a little bit boring. It does push them faster, which is good, but I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna say rework this one, maybe slightly. Okay, Colette's is interesting because that spirit that follows, it kind of breaks heist. You can do so much damage to the safe. It's almost like too much. So I'm gonna probably say maybe even just nerf the amount of damage that thing does to objects. Okay, Belle's, it just auto aims, which is, it's good on its own. We all thought it was gonna be terrible. It's fine, I guess, but it's not like a team wipe hyper. It just allows you an easier shot with your super. So I'm gonna say buff it to make it do something else after you actually hit it. Anything else, even like maybe like a permanent 5% speed nerf to the brawler that it's on would be fine. So this one, Ash just spawns more rats. That's literally it. Assuming he isn't that good later on, I would probably say slightly buff it to do something else. I don't really like it when a hyper just does like one small thing, even if that one small thing is a little flashy, because there are so many hypers in this game that kind of do like a little bit more. Okay, this is an exact example of one that just does does stats and like nothing else. This one's also pretty bad, so I'm gonna say rework this one. Yeah, Lola's hyper really isn't that good. Oh, Sam's easy nerf, I guess. The thing is, this one takes forever to get, so that you're never gonna actually see it, but when you do, it's so broken. All they really have to do is make it so then you can't pull it in until it reaches its max distance. That would make it so much more balanced. Oh god, Mandy's. Okay, so the thing about this one is the damage boost really carries it. People love this hypercharge, and you know what? Okay, this is insane of me to say, but without the damage boost, without all that, maybe what we could do is make her shoot it even faster. That is the only difference. Just make her shoot it faster. Mandy to me is such a clunky brawler, and I would like one attack with her that does not feel clunky. So Maisie's just is a team wipe button. This is one of them that I do not like. I do not like team wipe buttons. This one just makes her do so much damage if you use it properly, because all it does is shoot projectiles around her to all directions. That is it. There's no utility, nothing added to the super itself besides just a bunch of projectiles. Don't exactly love that. I feel like people just walk in and press funny button and see what happens. So this one's gonna be a rework. I think it could be more interesting and more beneficial to her super itself. Okay, Hanks is kind of a non-hyper at this point. They kind of removed the ability, so unless you buff it and then make it just broken again, you probably have to rework it and turn it into something more useful for him. Oh, Pearls, easy rework. This one does nothing. It literally does nothing. It doesn't need to exist. Okay, Angelo's. It just makes a super follow him. If there was a button that I had in this video to keep it the same, bro, I would press it, but I don't have that, and I'm gonna stick to that. So without the stat boosts and all that kind of stuff, all it would do is follow you. So I think maybe they could just make it last a little bit longer too. Okay, so Barry's literally just drops double the ice cream. Honestly, this is one of the weaker hypercharges in the game. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this one just seems so underwhelming. So I'm gonna say rework it, make it more interesting. Why does it just double the ice? Make it do something else. Okay, Mortis makes his bats boomerang, and that's not okay because it's so broken. So I would say nerf, maybe nerf the anything value of when it comes back to him. Possibly even remove the damage of when it comes back to him and replace it with some kind of crowd control, because getting hit by this is the easiest way to die in the game. Tara Black Hole, it literally just makes her, Tara Supermassive just makes her super larger. It's a really good one. We got to keep in mind, we're not going to have stat boosts anymore, so just 20% larger, that's kind of boring. It could probably do something else where it holds them in the center for a little bit longer or does something like that. So I'm gonna say slight buff. Crazy to say because it's already good, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, Jean's triple hand, it pulls them in faster. Yeah, this one definitely needs a buff. I'm not gonna say rework. Actually, maybe I will. Yeah, if there's any hyper that's gonna home in, it should be this one. It would be obnoxious, but it should be the way that it is. Not three hands that pull in faster. Max's is really weird. You get an insane speed boost to your team, but you also just give them super. I don't even know how to feel about this one, but what I'm gonna say is, instead of giving your team super, because I feel like that's kind of cheesy, what you could do instead, so I'm gonna say rework because that's kind of what this is. Remove that mechanic and then allow her super to just be global, so you can speed up your teammates wherever they are, and it's even better than before too. Mr. PP, oh, this one's so obnoxious. I'm gonna say nerf, and the nerf that should happen is the station should not be permanent. It should go away eventually. At least the hypercharge variant of it, it should go away, because if you have a team that can't deal with it, you lose the game because of this. Oh, Sprout, easy rework, bro. This one is so useless. If anything, they could try and keep the same effect, but make it affect the entire wall instead of just the center. I don't get it. It's so bad. Nobody ever gets hit by this. Okay, so Squeaks just makes it throw the bomb like twice. It just bounces and then it does it again. I feel like people throw this out and they never actually understand what they're doing or what the result even is, because they can't even see it because it's off screen. So bro, I'm gonna be honest, let's rework it. Let's turn it into his mutation, I think it was, that just makes them all like really big bombs. I think that would have more of an effect, more of a consistent effect, I should say. All right, I don't know if I like lose. It's one of the team wipe buttons. It just immediately freezes people in the area when you could probably make it a lot more interesting. I know that this is a hyper that people really enjoy, but I feel like with 10 minutes, a lot of us could think of an idea that is something more fun and less broken. So I'm gonna say it's a rework, because how are you gonna balance this one? It's just so broken. Ruff's hyper is so weird because it just delivers a hypercharge. It also, you know, does more damage. Weird to say. I'm gonna say buff. Maybe it could do something else. Honestly, no. Instead of delivering a hyper, maybe you could give like a speed boost until they die. Anything like that. Just a better version of his normal super that doesn't do what it does right now. Okay, Buzz's hyper. This one is insane, but I would never say to rework this one. This one is so fun. So if anything, call me crazy, bro. Without the stat boost, all you're doing is you're just flying around the map, and a lot of the time you might not get value with that. So maybe make it do it faster, just everything faster, bro. He's like Spider-Man. So Fang can go through walls and he drops popcorn. Without the stat boost, this one would definitely become a lot worse. Perhaps we could get like a 5.25 seconds stun on this just to add like a little effect to it, like a little impact frame or whatever you want to call it. I think that would just look cool and it would just be a little bit better for him. Eve's thing spawns babies over time. Now, this isn't really the most broken thing in the world, unless you have a team that can't deal with it. So what if it does this? Okay, this might be too much. What if it does this and then after it explodes, the ones that come out have some kind of overshield on them so then they can survive a little bit easier? Okay, so Janet's, she gains full control of her rocket. I think maybe it should be a little bit harder to control it because you could just move however you want, but maybe there should be like a little bit of a glide effect so then when you stop moving, you're still gliding slightly and you don't just completely stop midair exactly how you want. I feel like it would add a little bit more skill to it, so that would be a nerf. Otis's super now stuns enemies for 1.5 seconds. I just think this one is boring because you already CC them. Why are we adding even more CC on top of it? If anything, I feel like this should maybe splatter the ground with, what is it, ink under the enemy that you silence. So then even if you silence them from a distance, they'll become slow from the ink on the ground and then you can catch up to them. Buster now gets a 360-degree shield and they deal more damage. So this one is pretty underwhelming. I feel like it should be like a bubble, not just 360. It should be a bubble. So then he's essentially immune inside of the shield. But if anything hits it, then it goes back no matter what it is. Would that be enough? I think it would. Really depends on who you're going against, but I think that would be kind of fun. Okay, Gray's portal, I can already say nerf because the portal should not stay there for the entire match. It should definitely have a certain amount of uses or a time limit. Okay, RT's easiest rework of the West. This button was made to kill entire teams. There's nothing else it does. It's just made to, you walk up to people and they all die. So dumb. Willow's, it's interesting on paper, but I'm gonna say rework. I'm gonna say you should be able to use their super. That would be the one thing that makes Willow an actually good brawler, and she didn't get it. Poor Willow. Bro, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of Doug's. I think that it's gonna be like a game-breaking thing if there's any comps that work with it, and it's not gonna be that fun. Like, it's just, I know it's fun as Doug, but as the enemy, there's certain mechanics in this game that just shouldn't exist, and I feel like this is one of them. So I'm gonna say rework. Literally anything else to do with a hot dog that's on a person. Okay, Charlie's also rework. I mean, you put spiders out that don't even go for the person that is in the cocoon. I still think that when you cocoon somebody, it should just like spread out webs around them that maybe last even after they might leave the cocoon, but also it can affect the other enemies on that team in case the spiders that came out wouldn't do anything otherwise. Okay, honestly, I'm gonna say buff Miko's because what it could do is it could also stun on the way up. I know I just said that it shouldn't happen about Bonnie's, but she lands so quickly. At least with this, you would be guaranteed to go up in the air if you stun them on the way up because you're just gonna go. It's a freebie. I think this would be so much better. So Melody gets 3 more notes, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It seems like they do a different amount of damage, which is interesting. So without this damage boost on top, like the 25%, I think you could buff it and maybe make the notes do normal damage. I'm not sure how much normal notes do compared to the hyper ones because it does say 600 damage. So I'm gonna say buff it to be even with everything else, or nerf it if that's what that means. I'm not sure. Okay, Lily hyper, this one, I know it's broken, like it's so broken, but I'm going to say buff. There's no stat boost here. The Shadow Realm part could be, okay, I'm gonna actually go back on my word there. I'm gonna say rework it because maybe the Shadow Realm shouldn't last that long, but I think it should bounce more. It bounces way less than I thought it would. Oh, Clancy's, this one might be a fat nerf. Why do all of these supers have to be a boomerang? I feel like you could do something completely different, like even just giant paintballs, or what is it? But yeah, they are paintballs. I'm not a fan of the ones that just come back. I feel like we have too many of these at this point, so I'm gonna say rework, make it do anything else that wouldn't be primarily used for destroying a safe in one click of a button. I don't really know much about Moe's, but I know that you go really fast, so I mean, this one's kind of fine. I don't know. His drill lasts for longer. That already lasts so long though. It doesn't even say that it gives you a speed boost when I'm pretty sure it does. We also have to keep in mind you will not have the speed boost of actually moving around in the drill here, so I'm gonna say rework because I want to nerf the fact that it lasts longer and instead add some kind of effect when you're actually in the drill itself. Lumi's is really weird because I don't even know if it's, I guess it's another team wipe button, but without the stat boost, it would honestly not be that useful because most of the time you can auto aim her super and it will hit the person you're going for anyway. So I'm gonna say buff it in some way, possibly rework it. Can't really think of what I would want to do right now though. Okay, spikes, I'm gonna say rework. I already know what I want out of this one. So right now it just makes his super larger. That's so boring. It's one of the first hypers in the game, so that's why. But methinks what could happen is it starts out at its normal size. I've said this a million times. It starts out normally and then it becomes larger, maybe even more than 20% over time. And then by the end, it's like a really big thing and then it goes away. Rose is another one that just boomerangs. I feel like his works with it though. Then again, it does have the heist situation where it does way too much damage. So I'm not sure what I would want to do with this one. Okay, I'm gonna say rework just because maybe we can nerf it in a way that it doesn't affect the safe as much. Maybe it just does reduce damage. I don't really know what they can do about this. Leon stays invisible while attacking enemies. This one is insane, but he will not have the speed boost or the damage boost or anything. So would that be good enough? I'm not certain it would. Okay, what if when Leon pops super, I'm gonna say that this is a buff even though it might not need it. He can stay invisible while attacking, but he also makes his entire team invisible for like, I don't know, 2 seconds. I think that'll be fun. Or at least give it like an AoE, maybe not like map wide, but just like an AoE that like gives your teammates the effect for half the amount of time. Okay, Sandy's is a really interesting. This one has a long description. Without the stat boost, this one might not be that good. So I'm gonna say a slight buff, maybe just to the numbers that are already there, because this is an interesting one. I think it's almost fine as is. Okay, I don't like Ambers. Not only does it one-shot you, but it's also so easy to hit. It's like the entire map, you just auto aim it, shoot it, and game over. It's already done. Like you've already used the hyper. So boring. I think it should just be nerfed. I feel like Megs is underrated. A lot of people said it's really bad, but I don't really agree, but I'll just say buff. Maybe just make it slightly better. I mean, the huge slash is fun. I know it's just like a little change, but it's big. And then when you go into your mecha, you get the overshield. Both of these I'm okay with, but maybe just make it slightly better, I guess. Surge levels up automatically to max level and beyond, which means his shots always split and they have more range. So what I think here is keep the split, maybe remove the range because he already has so much. Okay, I don't really know what to say about Chester's. Honestly, if anything, I'm just gonna have to say reduce the damage overall. I can't fathom anything else you can do with this without completely reworking it. Cordelius's, it slows people down in the Shadow Realm. Now my question is like, what else could you even do with this one? The effect it has right now is so broken, but that might just be because you get the speed and damage boost. It's just so hard to escape as the enemy in there. It's like a guaranteed death, and I don't like guaranteed deaths in this game. There's nothing you can do to avoid it. So maybe instead of slowing, this would still be so broken, but instead of slowing, maybe it could just give like a damage over time effect, like a slight one, so then the enemy inside the Shadow Realm just can't heal. That would also be useful if they ran away, but at least then you would have a chance to live. Okay, Kit's hyper, bro. It's so stupid. I'm still gonna say it. Rework. Make Kit invincible when he jumps on an enemy, or give him a shield, or give him an overshield. It just seems so foolproof to me. I know that this one is fun and everything, but it's a team wipe button. It is so broken. People are just gonna hate Kit even more. All I want is when I jump on somebody, especially in Showdown, and the damage targets me instead when somebody else shoots us, I don't die from it. Just make it a little bit safer when you jump in as an assassin, and I'm fine with it. But stunning the enemy until they're dead, that's not very fun. So yeah, Kenji pulls people into his super. They did nerf it a lot. Without the stat boost though, I'm not certain how good this would be. It would probably still be fine, let's be honest. At this point though, you may be able to buff the amount of pulling that happens without the stat boost. Okay, Kaze's. We have two different ones here. One of them just makes it so then people die as soon as the threshold is reached, and the other one makes this, I don't know, makes it damage over time. I don't really know how to say this. Do I do two different ones? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say buff the damage over time one. Maybe that's not enough, but then nerf the one that makes people explode, because that super itself is too broken. But all right, that is every hyper in the game right now, buffed, nerfed, or reworked. We have a surprising low amount of nerfs, but I feel like a lot of those have been translated to reworks, and then the buffs were just a lot of kind of boring ones or just the weaker ones in the game. So essentially 36 weak hypercharges, and then the rest are either broken ones or boring ones. And keep in mind, this is all assuming that stat boosts are removed from the game. If you guys want a video where I don't include that dream that I have, then let me know. But yeah, this is it. So if you enjoyed, subscribe, and I will see you later. Have a good night.